Alright guys, we are down in the shop and this will be the installation video for the King Elwin sushi bar. Right now you can see that the building's installed, so we're going to uninstall it again and then shoot the installation video, and you will see that here in 2 seconds. Hey guys, okay, so we are getting ready to install the King Elwin sushi bar. First thing we'll cover is the tools you'll need. You'll need a 1/4 inch nut driver, a 5/16 nut driver, a regular size Phillips screwdriver, and then if you have a small Phillips like this, or something, I think this is like a number 2-bit, I think that's what they call it, but you would need like a smaller bit than that. There's like 2 screws that we need to take out. That kind of, like this kind of screwdriver kind of works it the best. But these will be the tools that you need. In your package, you're going to get, one of these, you're going to get the building, and then you'll get your baggie of stuff that you're going to install. And we'll cover this as I go. As you can see, I have my playfield extended out. I have my pinballs out of the game, and the first thing we're going to do is disconnect a clip underneath the playfield, and then we'll go back to the top side and work on what we have to take out of the game. So we lift the playfield up, and you're gonna look, so this is like the turntable and the Godzilla, and then behind Godzilla is going to be this opening, and you're going to see this cable that comes out, and it's going to be attached to this 2-piece, this 2-pin Molex. So we're just going to unclip this. We'll leave that there for now, kind of get this out of the way. And that's all we have to do on the underside right now. So then we're going to drop the playfield back down, and we're going to make sure that the rubber feet are resting on the lockdown mechanism. And then what we want to do is, I'm going to jump in front of the camera. We want to get this playfield more level so we can kind of work on this section right here. So I have a extra nut driver, or there's there's the playfield things like the C clamps that hold the playfield elevated. If you guys have those are cool too. But a screwdriver will do the same thing. So grab the handle on the back of the playfield, lift up, and then kind of just wedge this in there for the time being, and then kind of just let the playfield rest. You don't want the screwdriver back too far. You want to be able to keep like one edge at least inside the cabinet. Sorry for the hoarse voice, kind of dealing with a cold right now. Head cold, yeah. So here, Jen, if you want to come over on this side, you'll see this is the cable that we unhooked. So we can pull this out and then get it through unhooked. And then the next thing we need to do is pull out these 2 screws. Yours might be different. They might be actually brown top screws. My game's been up there so many times, and I have so many extra screws and stuff like that laying around. I kind of just put in whatever I had. But we're going to take this stuff out. We'll take this one out. And none of the stuff we're going to reuse. We'll take this one out. we're going to remove that. And then this can go down in the bottom of the cabinet if you want, or put it somewhere safe. These extra screws, I would kind of just, you know, I put them back in the bag that came with it, and then I'll throw it in the bottom of the cabinet so I remember what mods come with what, in case you want to take, or what screws came with what mods, in case you want to take the mod out someday and sell it. The next thing we want to remove is these two metal standoffs. They should be, I mean, they're pretty long, so you kind of just unscrew them. You have enough torque on them to take these off. There should be washers on the bottom also. Keep an eye out for those. We're going to take those off also. And this is where that screwdriver comes in that I was saying that we needed. So there's two screws here that hold this plastic on. So we want to remove this. And these screws are small, so kind of keep track of them so they don't fall down into your game. With the last one, I usually like kind of lift the plastic at the same time as the screw, so I'm not trying to pick up the screw. So that's removed. And then here's one of the washers. And then we're going to get this other washer off here. So we got that off. And then the next thing we want to do is, if you look underneath Godzilla's arm, there's a 5/16 nut. And you don't have to take this one off, but I take it off because I don't want to break the plastic. The plastic will bend far enough where you can kind of see like the next task. But, and of course, this one comes out with the post, which sucks, but whatever. Ideally, this post doesn't come off, or this nut comes off with the post. So, as you can see, mine came off with the plastic, which isn't a big deal. We just need to get this back apart. So, I'm going to pause the video and separate these two. Alright, so we got that post off of the plastic, so now we're just going to put it back in. And if you look right here underneath Mechagodzilla's arm, that's where this goes. It kind of goes into the T-nut, screws in, stern head, it's super tight so you can take it off. And then you just take a 1/4 inch and tighten everything back up. And then you'll have a washer and a nut that will go on top of this plastic. But for right now, the next thing we need to do is take this post out. We're not going to use this metal post, so it can go into the bag. We're going to use this though. And then you can kind of see also here we have a white bulb and a red bulb, and then we have a white bulb and a red bulb here. Now we can take care of these on the underside or up on top. If you don't have anything plugged into these, I would just do them on the top. That way you don't have to take them back out. But basically in your bag, you're going to get a red pigtail and a white pigtail. And those are where the buildings are going to plug in. That's where the building is going to plug into. So we'll take this white out and we'll put our pigtail in. Push that wire down in. Same thing with our red one. Okay. That pigtail down. And just make sure those wires go down in. And then these can go back in your bag. Okay. So then the next thing is going to be if you have plastic protectors, if you have hang on for 1 second, we'll pause the video. Okay, so if you have plastic protectors, if you have John's Ghidorah, I don't have one presently in my game, but this screw here is what holds the building down. If there's two ways to install this screw. If you don't have the Ghidorah, if you don't have plastic protectors, then you can install it from the top down. If you have plastic protectors, if you have the Ghidorah, this hole here where we took that post out has a T-nut in it. So basically you can thread the screw through the bottom up to the top, right? So it'll be like there's a post there. And then you would just put the plastic post on top, put your plastic protectors on, and then kind of sandwich everything together, and then put the lock nut on top. And you'll kind of see what I'm talking about as I go, as I install the building. But for this install, we're going to install from the top down, because it's just easier this way. So basically we're going to go and get that we're going to get the plastic, right? So we're going to put this plastic back on, and then we're going to, from the top down, we'll have our screw, we'll have this crush washer, I think that's what they're called, and then our regular washer, and then this lock nut we'll save for the end. So then you'll have your building, right? And then if you look on the inside of your building, there's going to be a hole here, and this is where this screw goes in. And there's going to be a hole here, and this hole lines up with this. You also have a plastic sticky thing here. I don't have one on this one because I've had this one in and out so many times. But basically you just peel off the sticky, and it kind of just holds the front of the building down a little bit. It's necessary, not necessary. It's just something I added in last minute just to have. So oh, it's in my pocket. So these wires go down, and this is where that square is, right? Where all this stuff is going to feed down through. And you'll notice also on the wires, like one is marked red and one is not marked. So this stuff feeds through down into the playfield. And you'll be able to see that the wires have passed down through. and then this kind of comes down on top. All right, so then we're going to pick up the building and the plastic and kind of, can't really see, but you want to get it through the plastic, right, through the plastic, and then that extra post goes on top. The collar, I mean, it doesn't matter, but the collar goes up, and this goes in here, and then this kind of feeds down, and then you're kind of fishing for that hole, and you'll feel it, the screw kind of just falls down into that hole, and then you can start to finger tighten it. Then we can take our Phillips screwdriver, kind of continue to tighten it down. When we get close, like there's some play in the building, right? It slides around, it moves. So we want to get it so it's kind of like 1/8 of an inch off of the edge line. You'll see a little bit of plastic, that way it doesn't like tear up any mirror blades or anything like that. And we're just going to tighten this down, and you're going to feel it kind of tighten up. It doesn't have to be crazy tight, but tight enough. Right? Alright, we're tight. Then so before we do this, so if the screw came through the bottom, right, you would put the nut on top with the washer. So washer, the nut, and you're gonna need like I always misplace things. Like a nut driver will get in there, a socket, a little crescent wrench to tighten that down. If you go through the bottom. So then this is kind of your coverage, right? And what I would do is I would test fit this. They should be cut all the same, but there's a backing on this. You peel this backing off, and I would, like I said, test fit it, make sure everything's good, all right, you know, and then, you know, it'd be around there, right? So that would be on there. Then we need to put our our front nut on. So washer and nut. And this is the 5/16. Tighten that back down. Everything's nice and tight, not crazy tight. We're gonna take this out, lay our playfield back down. Lift the playfield up. And then we have our wires coming out, and if you're confused on which one is which, you kind of see the collars in there and the hole. It probably won't show up on the camera, but this wire is white and black. This is the white one. So that's this one. And I did include some zip ties if you want to like zip tie this stuff out of the way. I kind of just twist it around. It is on the edge of the playfield, so you probably should zip tie it around. And then the red and yellow is always the fire. So that gets plugged in. And then this is your connector for your flasher, which we unhooked. That goes like that. And then if you want, Jen, if you come over on this side, this is where that T-nut is, where we installed the building. You can kind of put this lock nut on here and take your nut driver, and that's it. Is this necessary? Probably not, but I ordered a longer nut or longer bolt to be able to do this, just in case, so nothing backs out or moves out of the way. So playfield comes back down. Your building's installed. We'll pause the video and we'll fire up the machine and kind of show you, what it looks like. Alright guys, and there it is installed. Easy peasy. Kind of see there's a gap there between the playfield, or between the building and these power blades, which eventually I will take off at some point. If you do have spinning head Mecha Godzilla, here's a different building, or here's the building we're working on. Same building, but these positions are the mounting positions. If you had a rotary tool, I would imagine that you could kind of Dremel these out and move them forward maybe 5 millimeters, maybe 10. I think 10 would be pushing it, but you could probably mill these out like this way, and that's going to push the building back farther. It will push the building back farther and probably allow for more room on for the spinning Godzilla head thingy mod. But alright guys, that's it. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, pretty easy. That completes our building mods. I don't believe there's anything else that we have planned for the playfield. We'll be working on some other stuff in the future, but thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, reach out. If you guys stumble across this video on YouTube, our Pinside shop will be linked in it, or you can reach out through Pinside and get on the wait list for this building. That's pretty popular right now.